Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down a really controversial guide called The Male Siren, Art of Powerful Attraction. Now this isn't your typical dating advice. It's basically a step-by-step manual for psychological manipulation, and we're going to unpack exactly how it claims to work.
Okay, so the manual lays out its goal right on the first page with this pretty chilling quote. This really sets the tone for everything else. You can see right away the objective isn't about finding a real connection. It's about achieving what it calls devotion through a very calculated system.
So what exactly is a male siren? Well, according to the book, this isn't a personality type you're born with, it's an archetype you're supposed to learn. It's a guide to becoming like the mythological sirens, alluring, captivating, and ultimately pretty dangerous, all to manufacture this almost hypnotic kind of attraction.
All right, the whole system is built on 3 distinct phases. Phase 1 is all about becoming a prize. The core idea here is that perception is reality. It's not about who you actually are. It's about building this image of yourself as something rare, valuable, and completely different from every other guy out there.
So how do you do that? Well, the main tactic is to position yourself as the ultimate escape from boredom. The manual basically argues that most people are just dying for some novelty in their lives. So if you can project this image of endless adventure, you become this irresistible magnet for all their fantasies.
Now, what's really interesting is that the manual gives you 2 completely different, almost opposite playbooks to create this persona. On one hand, you can be the showman, this big, dramatic, constant spectacle. Or you could be the innocent, where you perform vulnerability to make your target feel like they need to protect you. Either way, the goal is exactly the same. You stay in control. Okay, so Phase 2 shifts gears and focuses on mastering presence. According to the manual, this is where the real manipulation starts. The goal is to completely bypass a person's rational thinking and talk directly to their emotions, all through your physical presence.
So the manual doesn't see your physical presence as just a reflection of who you are. It sees it as a tool or even a weapon. It claims your voice, your look, and your movements can create a kind of hypnotic effect that appeals to instinct, not intellect. Let's look at how it breaks down each of these.
First up, the voice. It's not for communicating clearly, it's for seduction. The instructions are super specific. Speak slowly, stay calm, be suggestive. The idea is to create this hypnotic vibe, what it calls an erotic lull, that hints at desire without you ever having to actually say it out loud.
Next is your appearance, which the manual calls the charged presence. The goal here isn't just to be attractive, it's to create a whole fantasy. The book actually says to aim for a God effect, to seem almost magical or supernatural. Your style is a tool to distract and enchant, and your sexuality is something to be hinted at, never obvious, just to keep up the mystery. And the final piece of this puzzle is your movement, which has to be mysterious. The advice is to move with this slow, relaxed confidence. But the real key here is ambiguity. You're supposed to mix innocent signals with erotic ones, to be confusing. The logic is that being hard to read is attractive because it forces the other person to constantly try to figure you out.
And now we get to the real endgame, Phase 3, controlling the chase. Once you've set that foundation of your image and your presence, the manipulation really kicks into high gear. The stated goal is to make the target chase you so hard that, and I'm quoting the manual, she loses control.
This whole escalation follows a pretty clear 3-step process, and it's all designed to create emotional chaos. First, being elusive makes you a prize they have to win. Then, you manufacture a sense of danger, which is supposed to appeal to the thrill of the forbidden. And finally, you inject fear through unpredictability to lock down your control. It's a strategy built entirely on keeping them off balance.
What's really sinister about this phase is how it deliberately weaponizes negative emotions. Elusiveness is used to create longing. A hint of danger is supposed to be thrilling. And fear, created through sudden mood swings, is used to keep the target feeling insecure and dependent. It's a textbook example of emotional abuse, just framed as a seduction tactic.
So after all that, what is the end game of this entire system? After all the manipulation, all the control, what's the final goal? The manual's entire philosophy is wrapped up in one single powerful metaphor.
And here it is. The seducer is like water. This is the core identity you're supposed to adopt. The idea is to be fluid, adaptable, and totally impossible to grasp. The whole allure is the promise that you might be caught, but the strategy is to always remain just out of reach, fueling this endless obsession.
This slide shows you how to put that water metaphor into practice. You must never let them see the real you. The moment intimacy feels close, the instructions are to pull away or even get angry. The goal isn't partnership, it's to create a worshiper. The target is supposed to admire you from a distance, but never ever truly know or own you.
That's all for today. Thank you. Like and subscribe.